is SMS enough to keep our organization safe? I'd like to talk about where we are now. Everybody in this room probably has an SMS and is building to improve it. So there's lots of databases, there's software, there are just culture policies over the head of the receptionist probably, so it can be audited when our clients and our authorities come by. We're counting the reports we're getting, so lots of bureaucratic activity. But we have to ask the question, what are we using for? What is this system that we're building, which is in the end nothing but a tool, is that useful? We got this idea that if we just get the right tool, it will solve all our problems. And this is very much, I've been sitting where you've been sitting many times, listening to people talk about safety management systems, how it's going to solve all our operational safety problems, how we just have to get the safety data and everything will get sorted. Now, that kind of irritated me. When I came back to my company, that wasn't really what I was seeing. We got all the data all right, and we thought we knew what was going on, and then we told our managers, and they said no. Okay, then we tried next time, no. And that could go on for quite some time. So all this stuff about getting safety data and making organizations safer didn't quite seem to be as automatic as they told us. So with this talk, I'd like to talk about the fact that tools are only useful if you use them, and you use them with the right intentions. So the purpose of SMS is basically, the most simple definition you can take is allocate resources to reduce risk. So your SMS needs to change the operation for the better. I found a very good article from Bill Voss from the Flight Safety Foundation, where he was a bit critical about SMS as well, in the same vein as I am critical about it, where he asks, we've made it so complicated and it's such a big bureaucracy, but what is it doing for you? So he gives 4 questions which I think are very relevant and I'd like to discuss today. First question, and I think if you take anything from this talk, take these 4 questions and use them on your organization. That will give you an indication if your SMS is working or not. So, first question, what is the most likely going to cause your next accident or incident? Now, the most likely here has a big load, which we'll talk about later. We are very bad at judging likelihood. Then the second question, which is very important as well, and we've talked about this before in the other presentations, how do you know that this is most likely that it's going to cause your next accident or major incident? Further, and the most important thing that really sums up risk management, what are you doing about that? If you can't express, this is our problem and this is what we're doing about it, you're not doing safety management. You have what Sidney Dekker calls a self-referential bureaucratic system, which basically exists for its own purpose. It generates a lot of paperwork about safety, but it is not converting that paperwork and that data into something that is effectively making us safer. And then the third and very important question, is what you are doing working? It's basically about safety assurance. So I think these 4 questions are very important in having a reality check about our safety management systems. We get so caught up in passing the next audit and ticking that checklist, but can we really answer these 4 questions? And more importantly, can everybody in your organization answer these 4 questions the same way you answer them? Because that's what safety management systems are supposed to do. They're supposed to give the whole company the same image and the same picture of your operational risk. So I've been asking these 4 questions, for instance, all over the world in many different organizations, and they're very revealing. when you talk to the CEO and then you talk to the guy pushing the aircraft back, and you talk about these 4 questions, you can get surprisingly different answers. And that's a great indication that something is wrong. So I see 3 common problem areas around safety risk management. First of all, the understanding of risk. And I'll go into detail about how our brain is really working against us regarding understanding risk. And we have to take that into account when we're trying to analyze risk, because our brain is convincing us we understand what we're talking about, well, we're really not. Then understanding the reality of our operations. We're getting great tools online like LOSA and FDM that help with that, and of course Just Culture is supposed to help people send the right reports. But we have to ask the question, are the reports we're getting really reflecting the next source of our accident? I've seen organizations which were very happy to tell me that they had 100 reports about basically health and safety issues, the equivalent of wearing a high-vis vest. Now explain to me how you can correlate 100 people not wearing a high visibility vest to the risk of crashing a helicopter into an oil platform. I don't think you can make that correlation, and we have to be very skeptical if we see SMS trying to sell us it as a victory, that we're getting more and more about these high frequency but low impact, long consequence kinds of reports. And then most importantly, taking effective action. It's good, like I said in my stories, that we know about risk, but if we don't take action, we're not making ourselves any safer.